Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar on how to prepare and pass limited insolvency exam in first attempt. It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce our faculty, Mr. Ashish Makhija. Welcome, sir. As you may be aware, friends, Transition is at the forefront for providing online training programs for insolvency professional and others. It also provides online classes for aspirants of limited insolvency examination. You would also be aware that Transition is the first and the only company to offer online practice exams with a chance to review answers for limited insolvency examination and valuation examination. This has helped many in shaping their careers. Transition is also an ACE publisher with many publications, one of which has become the bestseller analysis of cases for limited insolvency examination by Mr. Ashish Makhija. Before I introduce our guest speaker for today, let me inform you all with some rules that have to be followed by us during this webinar. First, during the webinar, please keep your microphones muted to have a better experience. Participants are requested to ask questions through chat box. It is recommended that participants attend webinar from a quiet environment. It is also advised that the participants may use headphones or earphones for the webinar for better audibility. It is advisable to close all other applications while attending the webinar. In case anyone gets disconnected in between, they can click on the link and join again. Now, I introduce our faculty, Mr. Ashish Makhija. Mr. Ashish Makhija bears top credential in the subject of insolvency and bankruptcy law and corporate law, amongst others. He has served as the standing counsel for the official liquidator attached to High Court of Delhi. He is also an insolvency professional. He is a leading practitioner in the field of insolvency, corporate laws, and commercial litigation. He is a World Bank trained corporate trainer. He is a renowned faculty and resource person for several professional institutes. He has spoken extensively on the subject of insolvency, bankruptcy, and corporate law and has trained many insolvency professionals through Transition master classes. He has authored 14 books on the subject of insolvency law and corporate law. His book, Analysis of Cases for Limited Insolvency Examination, 5th edition, published by Bloomsbury and Transition, is one of the top sellers, which is primarily meant for aspirants of limited insolvency examination. With this, I would request Mr. Ashish Makhija to take us through the presentation and guide the participants. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, and a very good evening to all my friends. I think it's an exciting time for all of us. Definitely, these are unprecedented times, but for as far as the learning is concerned, these are exciting times because we have got a lot of time at our hand, and we can utilize, particularly you see when the offices were under lockdown or under a closure, to gain something which is very useful for us. So friends, this is something, if you have already taken a decision to become an insolvency professional, I think this is one of the wonderful decisions which you have taken. Now, how to convert that your dream or your decisions to reality? Now, that's one of the important aspects. And because you see, today, what has happened is, insofar as limited insolvency is concerned, well, this exam over a period of time has become little tougher. Friends, maybe what I can request you is everyone can open the videos, because otherwise it looks like as if I'm speaking to blank screen. So I think that will be better. Yeah, I can see Mr. Arvind Agarwal also. I think welcome, sir. Yeah, now I think all smiling faces are there. Great. So, friends, what exactly is required is some kind of patience which is required to pass this exam, and lot of strategy which is also required, because this exam can be passed with lot of strategy. Of course, learning is definitely there, because if you don't study, how you're going to pass the exam? And sometimes at this age it becomes difficult how to study, but I think if you remain focused, then and strategize the whole thing, then it is not difficult. So what I'll do is I'll make a very short presentation on that, and then of course we can take questions on the chat box. And I must thank Transition for inviting me. In fact, Transition, as Neha was mentioning, well, they had offered a lot of, products to the aspirants of limited insolvency examination. In fact, my recorded lectures and my live lectures are also there. And I'm sure many person would have been benefited, with that. But anyhow, let us look at this. And I think those questions can be answered by Mr. Naveen Khanna, who is also present today. I think he will be answer your questions on the products of transition. So let's start. You see how to prepare and pass limited insolvency exam in first attempt. So friends, the idea is not only to pass, but to pass in first attempt. And I can, say it with quite authority at my command, and that the people who actually interacted with me, they, I mean, I kind of, took some sessions and they attended those sessions. And I'm so happy to tell you that most of them have passed A in first attempt and B scoring even more than 70%, 73, and some people scoring even more than 80% also. But over a period of time, as I mentioned, that limited insolvency exam has become tougher. I'm not going to scare you, but the percentage of pass percentage nowadays is around 13 to 14%. So we'll have to do a lot of, you can say planning and. Okay, so now number one, what matters? What matters is first we must understand the syllabus. I think most of you, those who have already planned it, must have gone to IBBI's website. That is the first thing which you'll have to do. Download the syllabus from IBBI's website and then go through that syllabus. What does that syllabus consist of? I'll deal with that in a little while. Second, you see, we have to do reading of the entire code, rules, or regulations, or even allied. I think I will request the hosts not to mute me every time, because if you do mute all, I think I'm also muted. So please don't mute me. Okay. So the conceptual knowledge is extremely important. Now, what happens in a conceptual knowledge that if you understand the basics of that particular code, well, it becomes much easier to understand even case laws, and then it is easier to crack case studies also. This is extremely important. And third, of course, if looking at a syllabus, then you will have to strategize, because syllabus is huge, no doubt about it. The syllabus is huge, and therefore one has to really look at and strategize the thing. And then, as far as material is concerned, what material to be referred? I think that's a big question which is generally asked, and I'll definitely deal with that. And how much time frame which you should allow yourself to pass this exam. Now that is also important. Well, let me start so that we'll be able to answer most of the things. But let us first of all look at the 2021 syllabus of limited insolvency examination. Now, the friends, this syllabus has changed from 1st January 2021 examination. So the cutoff date, now that's very important. The cutoff date for your limited insolvency exam would be 31st December 2020. Please note this date. This is extremely important. In 2021 syllabus, there is a change of pattern now. What is the change? Well, now it has become more on the case studies pattern. Earlier case studies were there, but the pattern was little, the less weightage was given to case studies. But now, if you look at, there is a weightage of around 40 marks, which is only allocated for case studies, and even case studies have also gone up. So to crack case studies, it is extremely important that we must have a very good conceptual knowledge. Some new additions in syllabus have also come up, like some allied laws. Now, allied laws were some limited in nature, but now some new allied laws have also been added, like Prevention of Corruption Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, CPC, MSME Act. Now, these are few of the acts which have been added for the first time. They were not there in the previous syllabus. And weightage has also moved a little bit. Like today, we have the weightage of code and rules and regulations of total 25, which was earlier 40%. So therefore, a lot of things have moved. And idea is, again, I'm emphasizing, friends, we need to focus on conceptual and analytical knowledge. If we don't do that, then it becomes really, really difficult to pass the exam. Now, today we have 75 questions of 100 marks. So number of questions have actually gone down. They are now 75 questions, and total marks remain at 100. 60% is required for passing. I think most of you know. Negative marking is 25%. Now, this is something which brings down people. So please bear this in mind. And if we break up 75 questions, strategy actually starts from here. 25 questions are of 2 marks each, and 50 questions are of 1 mark each. And out of 25 questions of 2 marks, 5 questions are devoted to case law, so 10 marks. And then rest of those questions, 20 questions are from the case studies now, which was actually not heavy at earlier stages, but now it is very heavy. So imagine out of 100 marks, 50% is devoted to case studies and case laws. You cannot ignore case laws. You cannot ignore case studies. In fact, you have to have good knowledge so that you can crack case studies. This is extremely important. And then rest are theoretical questions from allied laws, code, and rules and regulations. So 50 questions. And out of these 50 questions, 25 will come from IBC and the rest will come from allied laws plus finance and accounts and other portions which are there. Now, this is very crucial, friends. The rules and regulations and the code and all the allied laws. Please mark my words. You will have to study up to 31st 12 2020. That means any amendment which has taken place in the code, in the rules, in the regulations, and also in allied laws up to 31st December 2020. So any amendment which happens in IBC, which has already happened, right? Pre-pack has been now added, 19 new sections have been added with effect from 4th April 2021. You don't have to study that. So this is the cutoff date, which is extremely important. Uh, and then, of course, there are certain new allied laws, which I mentioned, Code of Civil Procedure, which is not full, but some portions will have to study. Similarly, Prevention of Corruption Act, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, MSME Act, even RERA is also there. And SCRA has also been added, Securities and Contract Regulation Act. So 5, 6 new allied laws have been added, but nothing to be afraid of. Of course, these are there. And really, you see, the knowledge of these will help you once you become an insolvency professional. So therefore, it is important that this has been done. Well, as far as the case laws are concerned, 5 questions of 2 marks each. Looks very innocuous that only 5 questions come. But friends, please understand there are 2 marks each. And mark my words, if you are good in case laws, you can score 100% in that. And imagine out of 60 marks, you have already scored 10. Now you have to score 50. Isn't it exciting? So therefore, focus on case laws, because while you are, and I'll tell you how to study case laws. That, you see, once you study case laws, you will be able to cover even your code and regulations, rules and regulations. And I'll tell you that that's a serious business. Total 60 cases are there. Now, friends, what happens is each case nowadays runs into a number of, you can say, pages. And particularly Supreme Court cases, they are running into not less than 150 to 200 pages. Now, it is impossible to download and read each and every word of these case laws. Imagine on an average, supposing it runs into 60 pages. Let us take an average. 60 into 60 pages will be 3,600 pages. Can you study that? Well, it is next to impossible. So for that purpose, friends, I have created a book which is known as Analysis of Cases for Limited Insolvency Examination. And that book will really help you, because that has been kept, that has been designed and drafted primarily keeping the aspirants in view. All the case laws are divided into 3 parts: facts, issues, and ratios. And those have been you see, chosen very carefully. And most of the time you will find that the questions will be called out, will you appear only from those facts, issues, and ratios. You don't have to remember too many things. Remember the case law as a story. Well, you will be able to remember what happened in that case law. And then in that book, I have given a lot of multiple choice questions which are all originally drafted. And many people have actually come back to me and told me that whatever questions you have asked, probably similar questions they found in the limited insolvency examination also, because my questions which are there, they are very tough. So if you do the toughest part, well, you are able to, you see, do the easier questions. And then, I think I will show you that book on the screen in a little while. There are case studies on 4 subjects now. Earlier, there were case studies primarily on CIRP, liquidation, and individual insolvency. There were 2 case studies, but now they've expanded the case studies also. One is CIRP liquidation, 10 questions, 20 marks. Individual insolvency, bankruptcy, 4 questions, 8 marks. Companies, partnerships, LLPs, 3 questions, 6 marks. That means every question is of 2 marks weightage. Well, you can't ignore case studies. But then we have to be careful, because if the question goes wrong, well, how much is deducted? 25% means half mark is gone. And that actually brings down the people. So I'll tell you the strategy how to go about it. But this is what is the syllabus is there. Now, the question is, what should I do? Well, friends, if you have already taken a plunge, very good. If you are not, you are still in a thinking stage. So I will say, don't think, do it. Because there is no harm in adding another qualification to your business card. I mean, some people do come and ask me, sir, iska karne ka kya fayda hoga? What is the point of doing it? I then ask a very simple question. मैं उनसे यही पूछता हूँ, बताइए नुकसान क्या है? What is the harm it is going to give you? Well, it is going to give you a great knowledge, because even if you are a chartered accountant or a company secretary, well, it is going to help you in your auditing and other things also, isn't it? Because as an auditor, if the company comes into insolvency, what are you going to do? You must know have the knowledge of IBC. So having a knowledge, even if you don't want to practice as an insolvency professional, does not matter. But at the end of the day, you will be very happy that you have gained additional qualification and additional knowledge. And it is a perfect time, as I say, there is always a silver lining to a dark cloud. Well, the business is little slow. We are not going to the offices in a big manner. So therefore, you will be able to devote some time. And focus should be on limited. Once you have taken a plunge, then your focus should only be on limited insolvency exam. That's very important. And now, how much time do you require? This is a ballpark figure. Some people may require more, some people may require less, but according to me, 100 hours of study are required. Which means if you are able to devote, say, 5 hours a day, 20 days. You are able to devote 4 hours a day, 25 days. Depends upon how much you time this, but ballpark is around 1 month. So 20 days to 1 month time period, you will have to be very sincere, and don't attempt any exam before 1 month of serious study. Because if you do that and you're not able to pass, assuming, then the confidence actually comes down. So therefore, I don't want anyone to go just like that. Prepare yourself well, and follow the tips which I'm going to give you in a little while. Well, this will be an exciting journey. Who is eligible? If those who are not aware that how can I do that? Well, it only requires 10 years of membership. I mean, it does not require certificate of practice. If you have been a member of any of these professionals institutes, and also an advocate, or an advocate, then you can obviously go for it. Membership here means that you have regularly paid annual membership and retained your membership. Okay, if you have lost membership, but this only requires 10 years. I mean, it doesn't require continuous also. And one more suggestion: those who are young people and have completed 9+ years, those who have not yet completed 10, even they can also take the exam. Take the exam. By the time you clear, maybe it is 1 month or 2 months down the line, whenever you pass the exam, your mark sheet is valid for a period of 1 year. You can register as an insolvency professional for a period of 1 year. So by the time you complete 10 years, you would have already passed it, because we don't know. If you wait for one more year, maybe the syllabus changes again. And if the syllabus changes again, friends, right now, if the syllabus is this much, it is gonna become this much, because a pre-pack has already come, 19 more sections have been added. In fact, IBBI and the government are actually adding other parts also, and new regulations will also be added. So right time to pass is now. Once you have taken a call, take a plunge, and then go for it. This is extremely important. And those who have not with a graduate degree, those who are only with a graduate degree, they can also take this exam with 15 years of experience in managerial capacity. So these are the qualifications which you require, and you get 1 year to register, as I mentioned, because your pass certificate is valid for a period of 1 year. So take a plunge today, pass this exam. Well, you will be in a position to really give yourself a very, very good gift to you. I think there is a YouTube channel of transition where a few videos have already been uploaded. Maybe some more will be uploaded. So maybe you can subscribe to that channel. And I believe that transition is also now creating a 2021 aspirants WhatsApp group. I think they will be posting you in the chat box the link for joining that group. My suggestion would be you please join it because they have also requested me to join. I'll also be there. We can share and exchange views, and we can share tips. If any difficulties are being faced, I think we can all do that. So I think if they have already created a WhatsApp group, maybe I'll request them to post it on the chat box so that people can click that link and can join. Okay. But anyway, in the meantime, let me. Okay, this is something where Mr. Naveen Khanna is already there with his mobile number is also written. Well, let me just tell you very briefly. Transition has come out with some kind of a hybrid module because there are a lot of modules which are there. As per the syllabus, they have also created modules, and I have helped them in creating those modules because I have been their faculty. Well, there is a hybrid module which I think Mr. Naveen Khanna will be informing you in a little while because I'm looking at the chat box also. Some queries are coming. But anyhow, we'll let me start with the other things. I think we'll come back to this. Now, friends, one of my suggestion is this. Do you require any book? Answer is no. Except, of course, the book which I mentioned to you about the case laws, because that is extremely important. Otherwise, you'll have to read 3,600 pages. Please read only from the Bare Acts. You do not require any book. If you go to Amazon, you go to Google, you will find 15, 20 books. That's your choice. If you want to take it, take it. But my suggestion is you don't require it because you will get confused. Just read from the plain, simple Bare Act. And now some people also find it difficult how to get Bare Acts updated up to 31st December. I think Transition has already got a product where you can download. There is a you can say digital product which you can download and all the Bare Acts and the rules regulations, they are consolidated in those portions in 2 volumes. I think that's much easier. So please do that. I think that will save a lot of your time and energy. Okay, prepare thoroughly. That is what I have been emphasizing. If you are able to attend transition hybrid module, well, nothing like that. And then transition has also come out in the past with the practice exams. Practice is the key. So they are coming out. I'm told that these exams are going to go live in next few days. Well, those who have studied well, take some package of the exam, attempt those exams, and while attempting those exams, what is the benefit which you are going to get, my dear friend? The benefit which you are going to get is that you will get right answers for the wrong answer. Supposing you get to a wrong answer, you are not able to pass, then you can actually analyze your performance by looking at which questions went wrong. Once you go to IBBI doesn't tell you which question you answered wrongly and what was the right answer. But here the transition will tell you where you went wrong and what was the correct answer. Well, anyway, that of course is going to go live in few time. Now, let us come to the tips. These are very great tips, friends. Please bear them in mind. So, tip number 1 is read the rules, code, and regulations and allied laws, even allied laws also, only from Bare Act. Please mark my words, keep it simple. You will be able to pass in first attempt. If you go left, right, and center, refer too many books and all that, you will get confused because many people have told me they have come back saying that some wrong things have been mentioned in some books. So don't get confused. My idea is that let's keep it absolutely simple in that sense. Now, the second tip is read case analysis from Analysis of Cases for Limited Insolvency Examination, 5th edition, which is a book published by Bloomsbury and Transition. Now, how to read that? Now, that's an excellent point which I'm going to convey. While you are reading that book, supposing you open, and this is the book, I can show you on the screen also. This is the book which is there. And if you open this book, this book is divided into various sections. First section gives you the analysis of cases for NCLT. like 20 case laws are there. So for each case law, you will find 1, 2, 3 pages you see devoted, and go to that first this thing. Let me open it and let me read it for you. I think then it will become much easier, and I'll tell you how to go about it. Supposing I have opened the first book. In fact, in this book, there is a lot of value addition which has been done this year. On every top of every case, you will find details of the parties, because past participants you see asked me a question, sir, case law, when we are studying case law, we are not able to find out who is the financial creditor, who is the respondent, who is the corporate debtor, who is the IP. But here I have made your job easier. For each case law, I have given a tabular formation there. Number one. Number two, what kind of case sections and regulations are covered in that particular case law, because references to be made, you have to remember sometimes. Well, for remembrance, that another you see tabular chart will be there. And the third extremely important point is keyword. Just note it down right now, keywords. I'll tell you how to go about it. Now, supposing I'm reading the first case law and the first pair of the facts, I'll just read it for you. Corporation Bank, as a financial creditor, filed a petition under Section 7 of the Code against Amtuck Auto Limited for making a default in payment of outstanding dues. Now, my dear friends, from the first sentence itself, you know who is a financial creditor, who is the corporate debtor, and what was the petition which was filed, under which section it was filed. Now, the moment you read filed a petition under Section 7 of the Code, friends, my dear friends, please stop here. Don't read further. Open your Bear Act, read Section 7. Well, now you will be, because code you have to study minimum 3 times. First, you can read on your own, just like that. Second time, read along with this book. The moment any regulation, any section number is mentioned, stop there and read that section again. Maybe you'll have to read 10 times, 15 times, 100 times. Well, you will really appreciate this, because by the time you go to for examination, you will be perfect. Then secondly, moratorium was declared under Section 14 of the code. This is written in second sentence of my book. First case. Stop here, read Section 14 moratorium. Then you will understand that there are 4 kinds of moratorium under 14.1, A, B, C, D. 14.2 says something else. 14.2A is saying something else. 14.3 talks about other thing, and 14.4 is there. So read this time and again. It will get entrenched in your mind. This is the way you should read that. And the next is very important, that look, what are the issues which are involved? What is the ratio which is involved? And ratio does not mean decision making. I have seen in many webinars and many people telling कि आप case law शुरू के कुछ पेज पढ़ लो and last के case पेज पढ़ लो और आपका काम हो गया. I'm sorry. This is not the way. This is not going to take you anywhere. This is not going to enhance your knowledge. And this will not be let you pass the exam. Ratio here means, let me make you understand, those who do not understand what do you mean by ratio. Ratio is not a decision. Decision to ye hua petition admitted or rejected. That's a decision. Very simple. But the point is, what was the logic? What was the reasoning given behind that decision is known as ratio. And friends, to find out a ratio out of 200 pages of judgment is the most toughest job. And what I have done for you is, I'm just 3 pages, 4 pages, and if it's a longer case, maybe it is running into 10 pages summary, but otherwise no case is running more than 2, 3, 4 pages. So in the facts, you will come to know of it. Very clear cut, crystal clear facts are given. Issues are given, what issues were before, and what was the logic or the reasoning in deciding those issues was done by the court. This is the way I've decided it. Now, let me give you one more tip. When you read case laws, you can't remember. Of course, they are 16 number, isn't it? But then if somebody tells you in a form of a story, that is what we have created those recorded lectures, or maybe you can attend the live also, because the live classes are also going to start on case laws very, very soon. Well, I will tell you certain keywords. I will give you the case laws as a format of a story. And that story will remain entrenched in your mind. I can promise you that. So some keywords I've already mentioned in the book. Remember, with the keyword, you will be able to link that case law with the keyword. So read it in the form of a story. If you can read it on your own, very good. If you can't, then obviously attend that 3-day lecture with me. I mean, sessions with me. I'll make you perfect. And if you become perfect in case laws, friends, mark my words, it will not be difficult for you to remember the code or rules, regulations, and even the issues which were there. 3 readings are required. This is tip number 3. I call it as stop, look, and go. Now, once you make 3 readings, only then you, my dear friends, you are ready for this particular thing. Otherwise, you are not. Okay, so this is extremely important. Make 3 readings. So first code you can study just like that. Second, you read it along with this case laws book. And third time, again, once you read, now you will find it more interesting once you read it third time. Practice is the key. Attempt as many multiple choice questions or exams as possible. As I mentioned, transition is now coming out with a new, pattern under the new syllabus very soon. Maybe by Sunday or Monday, they are going to launch it. Keep that website watching. Keep in view that. Well, practice is the key. Take 3 exams, 5 exams, or whatever packages they are offering. Do that, and you will see your performance going up from 40% to 70% or maybe 80%. And their exams are much tougher than IBBI. Why? Because IBBI has a bank of around 3,000, 4,000 questions. Transition has a bank of 15,000 questions. Imagine. So you get whole lot of case studies, whole lot of questions to practice. So this is the key, and you will see your confidence going up. I can promise you that. Well, the 5th tip is, this is very important, friends. If you don't know the answer, you don't know it. So if you don't know, please do not attempt it. Because if you attempt just by taking a chance, and imagine you don't know 10 questions and you start working on 10 questions and all 10 questions go wrong, you are down by 5 marks. And I've seen people scoring 58.5, 59.5, 57.5 because they scored 62, 63, but because of the wrong questions, wrong answers, well, they came down to less than 60. Do not make that mistake. And I can tell you, I can show you out of 75 questions, you can safely leave 10 to 15 questions. So you do not know and if you are leaving more than that, well, then of course the chances of passing become lesser, and we cannot do that. So maybe out of 75 questions, 10 to 15 questions you can leave. That is all right. Not more than 20% you should leave. That's the ballpark. But if you are not knowing the answer, please do not make a guess. Just leave that. Okay. And how to go about it? Like, supposing they are all multiple choice questions and the answers are A, B, C, D, 4. Now, if you are sure A is not the answer, D is not the answer, but you are confused between B and C, then you can take a chance, because now your probability of answering, getting a right answer is better. 50% chances there. But out of 4, if you are totally blank on that, then please do not attempt it. You can take a chance if you are not sure between 2 options. That is all right. Because negative marking actually makes a difference between the pass or fail. This is extremely important, friends. So please bear that in mind. Okay, I'm actually looking at the chat box. There are a lot of queries which are going on. Talking about the, I think some people have message me in private also that they want to know about the hybrid module or not. So what I'll do is I'll just take a small break here. Maybe I'll grab my coffee. In the meantime, and there are 5 more tips which are left, and I've kept the best for the latest now. But in the meantime, I think I will hand it over to the host, Mr. Naveen Khanna is also there. Maybe he will take you through the journey of the hybrid modules or whatever live lectures they are also going to start. So over to you, Naveen. I'll come back in just 5 minutes. Okay, just give me a break for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Makhija. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Since we've got quite a few queries to know about the hybrid in the signature module, I am sharing the screen. I hope everybody can see the screen now. Yes. Signature module basically covers the complete IBC code, rules and regulations, And these are live classes for 6 days with Mr. Makhija, 3 hours every day. As you can see on the screen, this is 5:30 to 8:30, the classes are scheduled. And these are all online classes live with Mr. Makhija. This is along with the classes, the participants will also get access to state-of-the-art LMS platform, which is the learning management system, where the participants would be able to see all the PPTs, the slides, the other material which will be shared by Mr. Makhija. All these material would be available to the participants, and on top of that, Mr. Makhija shares a lot of unique tips to memorize the provisions. And lastly, the recordings of these sessions would also be available to the participants for 7 days once the program is complete, the signature module is complete. Now, moving forward from signature module, moving forward from the signature module, we also have the hybrid combo. Before moving to the hybrid combo, I would like to mention once again, stress on the fact that all these sessions, 3 hours every day for 6 days, would be taken up by Mr. Makhija only. Apart from the IBC code, rules and regulations, he'll also be covering 3 cases, one case study, and also one allied law in the signature module. So not just the IBC code, rules and regulations, he'll also be covering 3 cases, case laws, one case study, and one allied law in the signature module. Now, as I said earlier, moving on further from signature module, you will also be getting the book Analysis of Cases for Limited Insolvency Exam, which covers all the 60 case laws which are there in the syllabus. The new syllabus, which is applicable from 1st January 2021. All 60 case laws are covered in this book. In the live session of signature module, Mr. Makhija is covering 3 case laws, but this book covers all the 60 case laws. This is the latest edition, 5th edition, which is available on the transition website. But in case you're joining the signature module, this book will come to you free of cost. This will be added to your signature module. Moving further, a lot of people have been asking me privately on the window that they want details of the hybrid combo. In the hybrid combo, apart from signature module, we have 3 other modules. The other one, the next one is case laws module. Here again, the case law module covers all the 60 case laws in detail. All the lectures for 3 days, 9 hours, will be conducted by Mr. Makhija. 3 days lectures again are scheduled from 5:30 to 8:30 in the evening. The next is allied laws and case studies module. Why this is called a hybrid combo? Because the 2 modules that I've already told about, these are conducted live. The other 2 modules, allied laws and case studies, those are available as recorded modules. Allied laws is 9 hours of recording divided into 3 parts, 3 hours each, and case laws is 6 hours of recording divided into 3 hours each, 2 recordings of 3 hours each. We are starting with the next batch on 1st of July, and the registration, you can register yourself on transition.com, or you can call me. My number is there on the screen. You can call me directly. Now here I have again shared the link of the WhatsApp group. I have shared the link on chat box also. You are most welcome to join the group. Mr. Makhija himself and the other people would be sharing tips to clear the exam. Most important, Mr. Makhija himself would be a part of this group and he'll be sharing the tips. Now, today, we are also announcing a 10% discount on the hybrid module, hybrid combo, as well as the signature module and case laws module. I'll be shortly sharing the coupon code, which you can use to avail that 10% discount. I'll be sharing that on the chat box, and this would be valid for the next 24 hours, like till about 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Any questions or queries, you're most welcome to call me directly. I am repeating my number. It is 8800 161 008. It's available on the chat box also. And shortly, I'll be sharing, as I mentioned, shortly I'll be sharing a coupon code for 10% discount on all these modules. I can also see Mr. Arvind Agarwal and Mr. Ayadurai, who have cleared the limited insolvency exam after taking up the lecture from Mr. Makhija. I'm sure they would like to share their experiences. So I can see Mr. Agarwal, Mr. Arvind Agarwal. I would request him to unmute himself and share his experiences.
Okay, Naveen, if you can just unshare your screen also,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, so I think that will be better because then we'll be able to see everyone. So just stop sharing it. Okay, now that's better. Yeah, I think Mr. Arvind Agarwal is there. Maybe you will have to unmute him. Yes, I think he's unmuted. Yes, Mr. Arvind Agarwal, good to see you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Namaskar.
I think
Yes,
everyone is from the finance field. I am not from the finance field. I am a civil engineer. But I
okay.
clear LIE exam with help of you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Salute to you and your team for your great effort.
Thank
And
you.
as you told, with the Bayer Act, but to understand the Bayer Act, we need a teacher, a guru like you. And
I think,
most of the good things are which you, I think, forgot to show PPT. Along
right.
with class, whatsoever you share in the form of PPT, that is so useful to clear the LIE exam. I prefer only your guidance, your PPT, and your words. And as being a civil engineer, I clear it. And I'm very much excited and enjoying my life after being IP.
Very good. I think, friends, as he is mentioning, he's a civil engineer. I mean, he is not from the finance background or this kind of a background, secretarial background. Well, when he came to us or transition, I was also surprised that a civil engineer wants to become a an insolvency professional. But then it was an exciting journey, and he has been one of the best persons who have attended those sessions. So thank you, sir, for coming. I was surprised to see you that you came here today.
Sir, one more thing. Not only me, my younger sister, she's architect. She also cleared the LIE exam.
Okay. Yeah. You told me, right. Yeah. I know. I remember her also. Yeah, that's exciting.
So we both are very thankful to you.
Pleasure is all mine,
much,
sir.
sir.
Thank you. Good luck to you. And
Thank you.
yes, over to you, Naveen.
I can see Mr. Ayadurai there. So,
yeah, I think,
sir, yes, if you would like to share your experiences.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Namaskaram, sir. Ashish.
Namaskar, sir.
I am also strangely like Arvind Agarwal ka biradari ka. मैं उसी का जात वाला हूँ. I am also an engineer, civil engineer. Yes, I am a mechanical engineer, but I am not a CA. I am not an ICW. I am not a CS. I am not an MBA finance. Just a sheer engineer, double engineering. Not very old. I am just 68. I cleared my IP exam, LIE exam in the first attempt. Because Mr. Ashish sir told me, whoever attends my class will clear in the first attempt. I want his statement to come true. And he is responsible for that, not me. He is a very good mentor, orienter. And I would only highlight one important opportunity in life. Being a middle class professional professing CA, CS, ICWA, or engineer or a valuer, if you at all anytime want to get an opportunity of managing board of a company, suspended, managing control of a company on your own, it's a white elephant. Unless you stand a chance to get that opportunity, if you are an LI, if you are an IP, registered insolvency professional. This opportunity knocks your door, whoever it is, whatever way you pass it. But if you want to create a room for such an opportunity in your professional career, I am doing a lot of work, not as a registered valuer, but as an RP, not directly as an RP, but I am on the advisory front with many RPs, with many COCs, with many CDs, with many OCs, and with many FCs also in privacy. So it's a wonderful opportunity. I don't want to talk on scope, but if at all you want to become an LIE, this path, if you want to transition, make an important transition in your professional career to become an IP resolution professional, then perhaps this is one of the best avenues available in the market today. Ashish Makhija Sahab, I'm not telling this, it's not a false flattery. If you could make a non-finance engineer to clear the LI exam in the first attempt, you can imagine how much he must be correlating the laws and provision. Nothing is unconnected. He ties a knot between a bald head and the foot. He ties a knot. That is the way he brings together. It's not a false flattery. I'm not telling this to please him or please you. It's a earnest, honest, passionate, emotional advice from the bottom of my heart. I'm a registered valuer for the last so many years, but I'm telling you from my mind, if you want to clear LA exam, this is the best opportunity and avenue available in the market. He is a very great, enviable mentor, orienter to put you on the groove and make you clear the exam in the very first attempt. I mean, I have just told you my mind. It's up to you. I'm sure if you don't do this, you would definitely miss out. I don't want you to resort to inferior, goods. I want you to stick to a better opportunity. That's my my advice to you. I'm not competent to advise you. It's my proposal, suggestion to you to go that way. Good luck to you. All the best. All the best. Thanks, Makhija. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Yeah, I think it has been a wonderful journey with you. And thank you for your good words, and also Mr. Arvind Agarwal. Well, I'm only a catalyst. That is what I say. And I have also mentioned in my sessions also that I'm also a student of IBC, and even I will always remain a student of IBC. So friends, I think let's go to the next part of our presentation. Let me finish those rest of the 5 more tips which are there. Well, this is a tip number 6. Read the questions carefully. Now, why I'm saying this? Because the questions which are framed are couched in a negative language. Now, the examiner, my dear friends, is not going to ask you a simple question that whether a financial creditor can file or not. He will ask in a different way. Do you think that financial creditor cannot file under these circumstances? So if you miss that word "not" in the top of the question, your answer is going to go wrong. And sometimes, my dear friends, the questions are couched in double negative. That means even the question will be in a not form, and then answers will also be negative. So one negative crosses out the other. So please read the question carefully. They are not coming out easy. I mean, at the end of the day, the law is same for everyone. How the examiner is going to test your knowledge in just multiple choice questions? Well, he is trying to confuse you. He is trying to trick you by framing the question in a manner that you get confused. But if you keep your concept straight, read the question carefully, I think you will be able to cross that bridge very, very easily. Well, the 7th tip is, okay, here it is coming 90 questions. It is 75 questions now. So this, I think I'll also modify my slide. Don't be in a hurry. Well, 2 hours, some people think for 75 questions, so 2 hours is not enough. It is extremely good enough. And let me give you statistics, because I've looked at the statistics of the transitions practice exam. People are finishing the exam in 60 to 65 minutes. You will also be able to do it when you go to IBBI. IBBI's exam also, center. So maximum 65, 70 minutes. You get almost around 2 hours, 120 minutes. So you'll get 30, 40, 50 minutes spare also. Of course, nowadays, there are case studies which are very long. So you will have to leave some better time for them. Well, let's do a statistics. 25 questions are case studies. Let's leave them aside. 50 questions are a 1 mark each. Now, each question, if you know the answer, friends, I don't think you are going to take more than 10 seconds or 15 seconds to read carefully and take the answer. Because if you know it, I don't think you are going to spend more than 15 to 20 seconds. And if you don't know, you may spend 20 minutes, you will not be able to answer it. So leave that question which you don't know. So answer them like 15 to 20 seconds. Say 50 questions of 20 seconds. Look at the time. Within how much time you have been able to answer? 500 seconds, you are able to answer all these questions. Now, move on to the case studies. You leave a better portion of time because the case studies are pretty long. You'll have to understand those case studies and then move forward on this. But mark my words, friends, 2 hours are extremely sufficient. Don't be in a hurry to answer. So because everything is in your mind. So don't be in a hurry to do that. Now, this is what I was mentioning earlier also. Allocate more time for case analysis and case studies questions. Because you will have to read longer texts. Case studies are literally very long. I'm telling you, they are very complex. What you need to do is, they give you a piece of paper. They also give you a pencil once you walk into the examination room. Well, they will not allow you to carry, but they will hand you over one piece of paper. Make use of that paper. When you're reading case studies, because when you're reading the text, the screen will be divided into 2 parts. The top part will give you the text of the case study and the bottom part will give the questions will keep on appearing when you press next, next, next. So when you're reading a case study, start making your short notes. Cull out relevant facts out of and other than irrelevant facts. Because you can't read every time because a question is asked. So if you just understand case study, make short notes on the piece of paper, I think you are done with. You don't have to read the case study again. Of course, if you have to read it, you will have to go back again. But reading it 2-3 times again will take time. So therefore, it is better read it carefully at the first stage itself. And then once you read it, then you will have to make short notes. And mark my words, friends, case laws and case studies questions with a higher weightage, they are a must attempt questions. Must attempt means if you know the answer. Of course, if you don't know the answer, then you will have to follow that earlier tip also. But if you start leaving those questions in bulk, well, the chances of passing becomes much lower. So it is better that you prepare well on IBC case laws, IBC code, regulations, and case studies. Now, if you look at these portions, this will give you a very good state and including the case laws. So overall 100 out of 100 marks, you will find that 60 marks are devoted to IBC itself, isn't it? Almost around 55 marks or maybe 60 marks. So that should be your major portion of study. Of course, allied laws also has to be studied. So these are carrying heavy weightage, higher weightage. So they will actually help you sail through. So planning, strategizing, these things are extremely important. Now, I told you that I've kept the best for the last, isn't it? When you are reading the act, rules or regulations. Now, what are the portions which you have to concentrate more? You will find that in many sections, you will find a proviso, provided that, provided further that, provided further. Even if you read section 7, there are 4 provisos and 1 explanation in subsection 1 itself. Whether you read section or not, mark my words, please read provisos and explanations. 90% of the questions you will find they will come from provisos and explanation because provisos and explanations actually create an exception. And as an examiner, supposing I'm the examiner, do you think I'll frame questions from the mere text of the section? No, I will create questions from the exceptions. Look at section 7, subsection 1. There is an explanation underneath it. Now the question can come from there. And even I can draft a case study out of that also. So therefore, it is extremely important. And if you look at section 7, subsection 1, first proviso tells you that in case you belong to a class of creditors, how many percentage is required, 10% or 100 number of members. Then second proviso is specifically devoted for the real estate cases. And it very clearly says that it should be out of one project. So they are creating exception out of a general rule. So if they are creating as exception, friends, you will have to study from there only. So please concentrate on proviso. So what my suggestion is, when you are having a bare act, maybe on a screen or in a physical copy, you can print it. Have, you see, different colors of highlighters in your hands. Wherever there is a proviso, underline, I mean, highlight that with one maybe fluorescent color. Important parts. Why I'm saying so? Next time when you are reading the act from that book, so you'll have to spoil one book. Once you are reading from, next time you are reading, your attention will straight away go to that highlighted portion. So try to call out what is exception. So that exception, you will also be able to look at it when you read the next time. So multicolored highlighters you can use while doing it. This is an extremely important tip, friends. Don't miss it. You will be able to pass in first attempt. The last tip, memorize time limits, memorize punishments and offenses. And many questions are based on them. Well, IBC is full of time limits, isn't it? 10 days, 15 days, 7 days. Some time limits are standardized, which I cover in my classes also. I'll make your job easier how to memorize them. But then highlight them with a different highlighter. So if word is written, supposing you go to section 7, subsection 5, right? There the time limit which is mentioned is 7 days. So just highlight 7 days there. Similarly, 14 days time limit is mentioned anywhere, just highlight that 14 days. Section 8 says 10 days, underline or highlight 10 days. Well, if you are highlighting the time limits and when you open the book next time, reading with the case laws, your straight away your attention will go to time limit and it will get entrenched in your mind. Many questions are based on time limits. I'm not saying all questions, but many questions are there. Then punishments and offenses. Remember section 68 to 77. Now, of course, 77A has also been added after your syllabus. 68 to 77, 184 to 187, and 235A. These are all punishment and offenses provisions are there. You will have to memorize them because many questions are coming. What is the penalty? So they'll give you 4 options of penalty and you have to pick the right one. And then you can actually try to standardize that. In fact, in my classes, I've standardized it so that people are able to remember the punishments and offenses also in a very, very standardized manner. So if you attend signature module with me, well, I will try to make you perfect on that. And that's a guarantee you will never fail, not only in the examination, but also as an IP. Later on also, you will really appreciate that you have been, you see, looking at this from this angle. This is extremely important, friends, because idea is just not to just pass the exam. As an IP, again, you will have to work wonderfully well in this particular things. Okay. Well, I think this slide has already been covered by Mr. Naveen. You can go to transition.com, all forthcoming batches, pre-recorded lectures, online practice exam, bare act in soft copy, or the books, whatever you want. Because if you're booking, say, taking hybrid combo or you're taking a signature module, I think you get the book along with it. And my suggestion would be, like, if you ask me, my suggestion is go for a combo, because combo is already heavily discounted. And now today itself, I think Naveen also mentioned that they are going to give you some more discount, particularly for that. So thank you so much, friends, for joining here. I'm here. If you have any questions, maybe I'll request people to write down in the chat box, or what you can do is maybe if you want to ask question, you can raise your hand so that they can unmute you one by one. So I think that will be good. If you have any questions, friends, I'm available. Reach out to me so that we can answer. So I think Mr. Inder Prasad has raised his hand. So let me unmute. Tista Gupta is also there. Inder Prasad ji, you'll have to unmute yourself. I have requested you to unmute. Okay, in the meantime, Tista Gupta, I think I will also send her a request. Okay, yes.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, I'm not clear about the eligibility actually. I'm getting different facts from the different websites. So the thing is, I have passed my CA in January 2012, but I'm holding COP from August 2012. So am I eligible to sit for the exam this year, like by the end
Okay.
of December or something?
Okay. Is that as far as eligibility is concerned, COP does not matter. Please mark my words. It is only
Okay.
membership. It is only membership. So you were enrolled as a member, I believe, in May 2012. That is what you are saying?
August 2012.
No, COP or
August.
membership?
Both at the same time. I got both at the same time.
Okay. Okay. So,
Yeah.
so basically, you will have to complete 10 years. So 10 years you get
Okay.
completed by, say, August 2022. But what I mentioned was that if you have completed 9+ years, so 9+ a year also you have not completed so far. I think in August you will be completing 9 years. The moment you complete 9+ years, then you can sit for the exam. I mean, you can take exam today also. There is no denial. I mean, even less than 10 years, you can take the exam. But your exam
Okay.
mark sheet is valid for a period of 1 year. Within 1 year, you have to enroll yourself as an IP.
Okay, sir.
So it is advisable that once you cross 9+ years, then you take the exam, and that will be valid for 1 year. So by that time your 1 year is over, you will be crossing 10 years, and then IBBI will be able to enroll you.
Okay, sir. Thank you
I
so
hope
much.
I'm
Yeah.
clear on that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Any other friend who would like to ask any question? Maybe you can put it on the chat box, or if you want, we can unmute you also. Just raise your hand so that at least these people will be there.
So there's a question from Mr. Krishnakant.
Yeah. What's the question?
Is there a huge difference between the 4th and the 5th edition of the Analysis of Cases book?
Oh, yes. Because the difference is because many new cases have come in, and some cases have been deleted from the 4th edition. So it is better that you take the, because earlier there were 59 cases, now there are 60 cases, but in that 60 cases also some cases have been deleted and new cases have been added. So don't read the you see previous one, because that will really confuse you. So it is always advisable that you take the new book. I think that will really help you. And this revised edition gives you more better analysis also, and with some tabular presentations. And friends, if you look at this book, not only you see the summary is given, but a summary of summary is also given. Just to a tabular presentation has been given, very focused one. So when you're going for an exam, say 1 day before, you can just look at that table and you will be able to recall yourself. And then there are revisionary exams which are also given there, revisionary exercises. Attempt those revisionary exercises, attempt those multiple choice questions. Do this book very carefully. In fact, in the beginning, I've given one author's note that how to read this book and all. And in fact, this book also includes the tips to read this book and also to attempt case analysis, case questions. So this is extremely important book. Make it as a part of your life for this particular purposes. I think this is excellent. Okay. Other acts are not included, Sanjeevji, because this is only focused on case laws. See, as I mentioned, you don't require any book from any acts. Please do not go for that. Don't fall into that trap. Just read from the bare acts. Simple. If you keep it simple, you will actually thank me after a certain time. But if you keep on going from one book to another book, you will get yourself confused. So you don't need any book. Look at only bare acts. And if you are attending the signature module or hybrid module along with me, well, I think nothing like it. We will see you on the other side. We'll try to make your life much more easier. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Otherwise, we can say thank you to everyone.
So one more question from Mr. Ankur. He said he's a forensic auditor, and he says he's not able to decide since 2018 whether to do RP or not.
Well, don't be in a confused state. Do it. That's what I said. Do it. See, forensic audit or no forensic audit is a very minuscule part of IBC. You will start enjoying IBC once you start reading it. Do it. I think you will not regret that decision. So I think the decision is made today for you. Okay. Yes. Anything else? Any more questions?
Yes, Ashish, it's just one question. Sanjeev Kashyap this side.
Yes, yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
Go
I'll
ahead.
just give you my background, but the reason only, you see, I have just, I have been the CFO of various companies, including MNCs and Indian companies, you know,
Okay,
and basically a CACS and PGDFM.
okay.
Important was that I just got very excited with this kind of thing. In fact, one of the authors actually of this code was on the board of our company.
Okay.
Okay. So that really got me excited. So I thought probably let me just look at this and this aspect in this particular course and see how it's going to be of help at this moment, because I'm just trying to see how should I look at my post-retirement, even though the retirement has still not come in though.
Right.
Okay. And also the important thing that the reason I'm asking this question now is to understand one thing. Even though you try to ask this, you try to answer the question relating to the 5th edition book, which I asked. My question specifically related to that, you know, we have the case law. You said this book contains case laws, correct? Now, these case laws is only IBC related?
Yes.
Or is it related to the other acts also? Because when you look at some questions, there could be a possibility of overlap of some acts on this on the IBC code. Let's say you have the securities reconstruction or those kind of acts which are there. I'm just asking this question just as a matter of, as an interest.
Okay, I think Sanjeev ji, let's be very clear. If you look at the syllabus, 25% is devoted to code and rules and regulations.
Correct.
Then there are case laws which are only coming from IBC. These case laws are not pertaining to any of the allied laws. So you will have to read this, you see, along with the code and the rules and regulations, right?
Yes.
So, and this has got a weightage of 10 marks, 5 questions of 2 marks each. Now, as far as allied laws are concerned, there are separate modules which are mentioned there. If you look at the syllabus, then like Companies Act, LLP and partnership have been grouped in one, then commercial laws have been grouped into one, then banking laws have been grouped into one. So those kind of laws which are there. Questions do come, but they are only all simple questions, 1 mark each. They are all theoretical questions coming only from BEAR Act. So you don't need any book. That's what I'm saying. I'm repeating time and again. You do not need any book. Just read from the BEAR Act, because the examiner is also asking questions directly from the BEAR Act. No case laws are in your syllabus, so he will not try to confuse you. But as far as IBC is concerned, yes, because you require a better conceptual knowledge. So you have to read rules, acts, regulation along with the case laws. And that will keep you in good stead when you keep this book in your hand while reading the code. So
this book is available presently, is that?
Yeah, it is available on transition.com, and it is also available on Amazon. If you just Google it, I think you will find a number of resources to find this book. And if you are joining this course particularly, well, then this book is a part of the deal. So I think that's what I think Naveen also mentioned.
Okay, so, and just one more question on this, please, because I have because in the discussions that happened, and in fact, where Naveen just talked about, he gave a small intro. The fees was not mentioned therein. Is that possible to know now, or is it to?
I think it's easier. Maybe you can talk to him separately, or you can go to transition.com. I think he will be able, you will find all those things, because transition.com is a very interesting site. I'll request you to explore that. So you will find many interesting products, particularly relating to limited insolvency there. They have worked wonderfully well for so many years, and they are the spearheading this. So I think thank you for being here. Any other question, friends? Please feel free to ask any questions. I think we have already overshot time, so we must stick to that time also. Well, if there are no more questions, let me thank all of you for hearing me patiently. And I must wish you good luck to all of you. All the best. And may you come out with the flying colors. That is what you need to, you require that. Over to you to transition team, so that for your closing remarks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the webinar. It was an informative as well as encouraging for all of us. And we are now more determined to become an insolvency professional after attending the webinar. I would also like to thank all the participants. It was our pleasure to have you all here with us. Thank you. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy.
Okay. I think, Naveen, some chat box messages are asking for the code, so you can just mention. Yeah, I think it is already mentioned there. So thank you, friends. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you on the other side from 1st July onwards if you are joining those courses. Thank you so much.